like best NPC feat. Man-eater Mildred, obviously. I like my women down, dirty, and with a sensational appetite, and I think your feet reflect that. Magnet 19.
One's like the MILF.
Oh, the siren?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull her over here. Let me make her image really small. Alright, so we're gonna start way down here. I'll adjust these as we get them permanently. So they're not gonna rank very high. They're very, like, they're not very well known, so I'm gonna bump them up for that. She turns into a big, like a bigger version of herself. So that gets bumped up, because she is like almost like player sized, if not smaller, but then becomes big for some reason, gets bigger tits and everything. But there's really not much more to say about her, honestly. Like, there's really, I can't think of anything else she has going for besides just being obscure and big woman, because I wouldn't say they're unnecessary, because she does like get ravaged by whatever, you know, so her clothes are tattered and she outgrows them, so her being bare feet is understandable. They're not in a cutscene, and they're not especially high poly. They're like regular, they're actually pretty, you know, they match the rest of the character, because there's some of these on this. One in particular, two in particular I'm going to talk about that have incredibly high-res feet for compared to the rest of their model. But she's not one of those, so I'm thinking Shrine of Your Mama Siren Lady sits right here. Right there.
Yeah, I feel like that's good, you know? She's just there, there's not really much else to say about her.
Nope. I think she's mostly just there because she's obscure. That's like her best thing. And there's really nothing to detract from her either. Like, I can't really say anything bad. Like some of these other ones I can, but not with her. Alright, so we've went with one of the smaller known ones. Let's get one of the big heavy hitters here. Let's get Priscilla.
Oh boy.
Alright. Now Priscilla, there's a lot to go over. Alright, here's Priscilla. Priscilla's gonna start down here. Now Priscilla has a lot going for her. For one, big woman. Got that going.
Big dragon woman.
Yeah, she's like a scaly slash furry bait character, so that goes up. It's unnecessary that she's barefoot because she's in a cold place. It should be ice cold, so that goes up. She has painted toenails. I don't know if any of you in the chat knew that, but she has pink painted toenails. So Miyazaki had some little bit extra with Priscilla.
What now?
She does. Her and Yorshka both have pink painted toenails. It was something I noticed while pulling these PNGs. They both have pink toenails. Let's see. Now she's already way up on the beach here. I'll try to think of anything else. She doesn't have like a cutscene. She's like, Priscilla as a whole is like a really textured model, so her feet aren't like oddly detailed. They're about as weird as the rest of her.
Would her popularity bump her up? Because she's like,
that's true.
Most popular Dark Souls waifus.
That's true. I think she should get bumped up for her popularity. I really can't think of anything to detract. Like, I'm not gonna say like her not having a cutscene is bad, because there's only a few on this that do. So she's definitely at least A tier, in my opinion. A tier feat. I'm trying to think of like, because there's really nothing bad, but she doesn't really have anything to push her over to S tier.
Good feat. Good character. Just not enough to make it into the top spot.
I'm just like, I'm looking through here, just trying to see if the chat has anything to add. So Priscilla, A tier. I'm looking through back. So I was like, how did I get here? You might need to start looking through your old search history to find that out.
Might need to open up a Bible or something.
So what about Philionor? And then someone said, the Fool's Idol from Demon Souls. Fool's Idol and Philionor from DS3.
No, I think Philionor has boots because I think her outfit does.
Go check.
I will look.
Solid A tier. Alright, so we went with one of the more popular ones. Now let's get back to one of the lesser ones. We're gonna go with the Vileblood Queen. Now the Vileblood Queen is going to rank extremely low. I can already tell you.
Feet.
Villanor has them.
Fools on them.
Does she have feet? Alright, so the Vileblood Queen gets a bump up for obscurity. See what else does she have? It's not really... I suppose it is unnecessary because she's like a queen. You wouldn't expect a queen to be barefooted. That's kind of stupid. It makes me think Miyazaki had more plans for the character that he never got to go through with. Which, like I said, obscurity and it being kind of unnecessary, but they're not especially high res. There's not a cutscene. But one thing I am going to detract actually from her is because the only way you can see them is if you kill her yourself and do some camera trickery, so they're not obvious. So the
points deducted for inaccessibility.
Vileblood Queen is just above bottom tier. Fucking patriots like hack. Rod, my waifu. It's the first time YouTube has recommended one of your streams in a long time. YouTube knows it's quality content. Alright. That's where we're gonna keep the Vileblood Queen, just underneath this one. I think that's good. I think that's good. So now that we've gotten an obscure one, we're gonna go back to the more well-known.
There's Fools Idol.
Alright, Fools.
Research on Villanor.
Research. Next up, we're gonna go with a popular one. We're gonna get Guinevere.
Oh.
Yeah, Guinevere is one of the heavy hitters, for sure.
Well, she's a big woman, obviously, you know. Well-known character. It's supposed to be like your reward for beating Orson and Smough. But they're covered. They're covered.
Yeah, so what we got here is the popularity. She's gonna... I'm actually gonna give her two tiers up for popularity just because of... It's Guinevere. Next up, she's got the weirdness factor. She gets the unnecessary thing because Guinevere only exists because one of the concept artists made a drawing of her that he was so proud of. Miyazaki, it was like, alright, yeah, we'll include it, so that's in there. So she's up to B tier now. So she's got the big woman, she's got the popularity aspect, the unnecessary, like just not being really necessary. I can't give her the points for like them being incredibly high textured, and as a matter of fact I have to take her down one because they're covered, you can't see them. However, there's like immense amount of porn about her, so I'm gonna knock her back up one for that. Ooh,
this man brings up a really good point. She's an illusion.
She's new. It's true. She's an illusion. This isn't even the real Guinevere. This is just what, like... It's just what Gwendolyn remembers of her.
Yep.
So that bump her up or down?
I'd say that bumps her down because of the, you know, the illegitimacy of the feet. They're not real.
The illegitimacy of the feet. But she... Yeah, but then you think about it too, she has like the royalty aspect.
Yeah, but she's not real in game.
What do we think in chat? B or C on Guinevere? And you gotta remember, we're not looking at this like from a sexual perspective here. We're trying to get inside the mind of Miyazaki. That's what we're trying to do here. We are objectively rating them. We're not going for like the big boobs, anything else. We're thinking inside like Miyazaki's mind when he was designing this. It doesn't really seem like this has Miyazaki's touch like Priscilla does. Not real feet, F tier.
I agree. Oh, Villanor, feet are covered. Can't see them.
Looking through here again. C for cucked by Gwendolyn. B, B, C. Large, so B. You know what, just by way of what the chat thinks, like, personally, in my heart of hearts, I think this is C tier. But because the chat, I think just her sheer popularity will get her to be B tier. It's only because she's so popular, just because it is Guinevere, that even if they're not that great and Miyazaki didn't intend for people to be that obsessed with them, it still happened. So now we got a popular one, we're gonna go back to a bit of an obscure one. We're gonna go with an obscure. We're gonna go with Quilana. She's not that obscure as far as like not really well known, but not many people know she has her feet out because it's so fucking dark in Blighttown.
Her feet glow.
Alright, so she's gonna start off down here at the top. She gets a bump up for obscurity, and then she also gets a bump up for it being really unnecessary. It's stupid that she's barefoot because she's in a swamp. She's in a swamp, the nastiest place. Like, it's gross, it's disgusting.
Fucking mud between the toes, but actually, wait a minute. I think we're onto something here.
What do you think?
Miyazaki's fetish towards the feet.
So he's
a dirty feet.
So he's all, yeah, there's the dirty feet aspect, so that goes up to C tier. It's a tease. B for big toes, FF tier for fake feet. Can't touch them without her exploding. B. I'm thinking, I think that she's like a solid C tier, but I think she's gonna get bumped back down to D, just because most people never even realize they're out because of the darkness.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Alright.
Crinkling her toes in the shit mud and S tier.
The fact her entire body but feet is covered makes it better. I think he might be onto something. That's true, the only part of her that you actually see is her feet. I'm thinking C tier. I think he brings up a good point.
He's right.
I
You know what? C tier.
I think objectively that is true. Like Miyazaki saw that, she probably like had her feet covered by the robe. He's like, wait. What are you doing? Miyazaki, we thought we'd save on some assets. We don't really have to muddle her. We can just put the dress. What? Where are her feet? Well, they're like under the dress, I suppose. Put them out. Get the feet out from under the dress. I fucking model the whole body, but keep the feet. Okay, well, if we're gonna put the work in modeling, should we like have her hands crossed? Maybe a little bit of her face? No.
Holy shit.
Objectively, the smelliest feet so far, definitely. Well, just you wait, because we're gonna be getting to one later that could definitely top that. Alright, so we've had an obscure. We're gonna go back with a popular one. We're gonna get Yorshka. You can see right here. I don't know. Well, you guys in stream probably can't, but they're pink. Priscilla and Yorshka, the two sisters, the Seath sisters, both have pink painted toenails. So, the more you know.
I feel like she doesn't rank too high because, you know.
Well, we're gonna start off for the detail that Miyazaki put in with the pink toenails. She gets bumped up. Number 2, it's unnecessary. Just like Priscilla, it's really cold. She should have shoes on. She does not, or at least foot wraps. She does not. She is a dragon, so she gets that scaly bonus for the weirdness. So she's made up to C tier so far, but they're not really all that like crazily fucking detailed. They're not in a cutscene. Your character does look down at them though when you do the bow. So you gotta consider that. There is the player model actually like bending down and staring straight up, so they're gonna go up to B tier. But she's gonna get some points taken away because she's essentially like Diet Cola version of Priscilla, so she's gonna go down. She's gonna get bumped down one, right here.
Yeah.
Giraffe woman, yeah, that's Yorshka. She's kind of weird. Blighttown runs like complete shit because the game's struggling to render Q's feet. Skid, what the actual fuck is the stream tell? Are you not watching the stream? Do you like have it in like alt tab? What do you think you're looking at? Miyazaki sacrificed 7 FPS for those feet. Yeah. She's creepily thin. Like I said, we're not talking about the rest of the body or anything like that, or the character itself. We're talking about the feet. We're trying to get into, like I said, the mind of Miyazaki. I'm thinking she's C tier.
She is just a bargain bin Priscilla.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking C tier. C for cold feet. This is art. Skid, what the fuck? Skid, did you graduate from Harvard to rake Dark Souls feet? Come on. I think this is my higher calling. Armstrong. Well, Cockstrong. Alright, so we went with a more popular one. Let's get back to the obscure. We're gonna go with Yosefka. Yosefka would absolutely be Strider's pick. I don't know if he's in the stream, but believe it or not, I think Yosefka is actually gonna rank pretty highly. I think she's gonna come pretty high up. Alright, so Yosefka is from Bloodborne, if any of you didn't know. And she has a lot of lore to her being on this list, because I didn't even know. But someone in my Discord pointed out a couple things to me about her. One thing being that, alright, so first off, she's gonna get a bump up for obscurity, you know, gonna get put right there. But Yosefka actually has a specialized set of the white church gear that specifically is barefooted, specifically just for her. Miyazaki made it so this character was barefooted. He demanded it. There was no reason for her to be. She could have had boots easily. That's actually gonna get 2 tiers up from me because of how stupid it is. Another tier up she's gonna get from me is because when you kill her, she actually like throws her feet out over the edge of the table, as you can see in that little screenshot that someone grabbed for me. Now, her feet are pretty average, like, they're not super high poly, they're just like the players, so she's not gonna get a bump up or down for that. They're not in the cutscene, there's no more special interaction, and there's really not any more attention drawn to them other than all the crap I talked about. It's just, Miyazaki's down bad for some feet. I think she's gonna be B tier. I know that seems kind of high for an obscure, but it's just the blatant unnecessity of her having bare feet is what gets her on B tier for me. Like, she doesn't have the popularity aspect or any of the furry stuff that like the dragon chicks or anything like that has. But just them being there, just existing, are so unnecessary.
They're also really long. She has some big feet.
Yeah, she got some weird looking feet. Medical malpractice feet. A tier. Yosefka's S tier. Yeah, I see Strider comes in. He's like, my waifu!
My anime woman!
Priscilla better start taking birth control pills. I'm gonna lick those toes, so essentially it's gonna send shockwaves to her eggs. Just the resonant sexual energy that Cockstrong has. He walks by women and impregnates them. It's like that story. The reason that Japan has such a terrible like birth. The reason Japan had such like a terrible overpopulation problem years ago is because Chuck Norris went to a karate tournament there, won the tournament easily, and instantly impregnated every woman within 1,000 miles. I think that was a joke I heard a long time ago. So yeah, Yosefka's up there. There's also the positioning. And it's like I said, just them being jutted out that's the unnecessary aspect. And like I said, I know a lot of you want like Priscilla to be S tier, you want to be Yosefka to be S tier. Like, I get that, I get it. You really like the characters, but we're not here for your feelings. We are here to objectively rank these.
I studied 15 long years at Harvard to rank Dark Souls feet, and by God, I don't give a fuck what you think.
So my Cockstrong radiates sperm energy like a nuclear reactor.
This man.
It's
huge.
It's also the fact you fight Yosefka, you can see and hear her bare feet hitting the floor. That's a good point. It's a good point. There's the audio aspect, so you can like, theoretically, turn off all the sound effects but what you hear when you're fighting her and have her chase you, and then have ASMR of her feet slapping the ground chasing you. I think that's gonna get her A tier, just that weird thought. A tier. Still not S tier, I'm not going any higher. So we went with a more obscure one, now we're gonna get back to popular ones. And as far as popular ones go, I think we're gonna have to go with, I think the Fire Keeper. DS3 Fire Keeper.
I see.
Yep. So we're gonna start her off down here. Now the Fire Keeper has a lot going for her. She honestly does. She is like, she's got the popularity. By way of just how popular she, I think we're gonna do the same thing as with Guinevere. She's gonna get 2 tiers for popularity. She has the like, she doesn't need to have bare feet. There's no reason for it other than Miyazaki having a foot fetish, so she gets another rank up for that. Let's see. They're actually not really all that high poly though. Like, looking at pictures, they're really low res, surprisingly. Oh, and they're hidden. They're hidden under her dress. You only see them during very certain cutscenes for a split second. So between the low res and that's gonna put her back down to D tier for me. Like, I know it's really popular, but I think it's just the fact that it's the, like, the caretaker character.
I think D's a pretty solid spot.
I'm thinking D. Rank Dark Souls chest livestream, maybe next time. Quilana from DS2 has to be A tier. I don't even know who that character is, my man. You can look in chat, starts with the CH.
Let's see. Who said it? I can't find it.
Cameo. Beat you because you don't see him often. Fire Keeper's waifu material. We're not talking about the character. We're talking about what's attached to the end of their legs. Talking about their shit kickers. Low res, not visible, mediocre best. You see, Jenkins gets it. JJ there, he gets it, he understands. The only reason she's up there is because she's popular. They're popular and unnecessary, and that's the only thing saving her from the 2 lowest ranks. So Fire Keeper stuff.
Why is there so much porn?
Alright, we got...
They're hidden.
Oh, they're hidden?
Yep.
Not worried about it. We're like, they could exist, but if they're hidden and we don't see them, they're all gonna be right here. So assume any character that you have that's obscure that we don't know about because it's hidden and you don't see them, even if you kill them, they would all be here or here just because I'd get angry at them. They're all bottom rank. They're in the honorable mentions list. So we got the popular one. We're gonna go back with an not unpopular, but sort of a lesser known one. The priestess is in the Shrine of Yomama.
I mean, looking at this, visibility, they're very visible.
So like this, for instance, the priestesses on Shrine of Yomama. They have, like, they're there, but they're not high res. They're actually very low res. You don't see them even if you kill them. There's no special attention drawn to them, and yeah, it's just they're there. So they're gonna rank all the priestesses of Shrine of Yomama down here, the first bottom tier one that we have. So bad I couldn't even find a picture of them, but I know they were there because I looked at them in game. I went and looked because someone mentioned them to me.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I know, real heartbreaker there. When I fight Yosefka, I exit the game, modify the game file, and remove every audio file except for the sound of her feet, and then plug myself into my $2,000 headphones and enjoy heaven.
Feet slapping ASMR.
George, I often finger myself thinking about anime waifus. She's a stone trader. Yeah, I'm not gonna count her. Are you winning skin? Hey, Chris. Is it better when you see them? It might be for you, but objectively speaking, from what Miyazaki likes and his vision for these games, no. No son of mine. I can imagine Miyazaki going through all the feet slapping the floor sound samples going, yes, that's the one. They just have like a bunch of actors, like, and they all have to be female people, like actors, employees. He won't let men do it. And they just take him into like a giant temple, remove all the pews, douse the floor in water, and then put speakers everywhere. And Miyazaki's over there with like a pair of binoculars, like.
Got one head on the binoculars, another nose pants.
Oh yeah,
He's
got like these like AKG headphones on, like the really high dollar ones. He feels the sound resonating in his eardrums. Alright. And I see that Maxis and Guinevere's feet are triple S tier. They're not, because they're hidden. You don't even see them. She's only up there mostly because she's so popular and she's big. And that's it. Miyazaki said, "Here are the foot samples. The team just knows they found the one in Miyazaki's seizures and pleasure." The cropping on the pic cut out the feet. That's alright. I mean, it's low tier. I'm not that worried about it. Hold on. I don't even think I can adjust it to crop it. Well, I don't think I can like crop it to make it to where the feet are in the picture, so that's low tier anyway. We'll keep them right there. I mean, it's like this one. I couldn't find a high-res picture of this chick sitting in her regular pose, so it's just top. This one, it's kind of cut off. You can barely see these. As long as you know kind of what it is, if you're watching, that's the main thing. Next, I went with an obscure one. We're going to go back to a popular one. We are going to go with one I think is going to be very high up, is Friede. That's right, Sister Fred. Brother Fred. Eat yeah, we've activated like the sleeper agent and eat. Alright, so next up is Friede. Friede gets one up already because she, like, it's unnecessary. She should have shoes on. It is ice cold. It is Ariandel. It's ice cold. She should have shoes, so that's a rank up for the unnecessary. 2, something that she has that almost no other one in the game has is a cutscene that zooms in on her feet. Literally, straight up zooms in.
Graphic fucking camera angle just for feet. The sound is there too.
I was gonna say, there's the sound design for feet slapping the tile, so that gets her rank up. She also gets another zoom in later when she falls over and Ariandel gets angry and starts slamming his Cheerios into the ground. You can see the backs, like, what are they called? Like, the palms, I guess, of her feet, the bottoms of her feet. Yeah, the soles, the dark soles. You see her dark soles in that one? They're really highly detailed, almost oddly so. Like, for the cutscene, I assume. I'm gonna go up here. And I really can't think of anything bad about them that, like, did attract. Like, nothing covers them, they're not hard to see. They weren't like an afterthought, something like Miyazaki didn't intend, because he absolutely did. The only thing that's keeping her from S tier is that she's not that popular. Like, everyone knows who she is, obviously, you know, it's Friede. Anyone who plays DS3 knows. But she just doesn't have that same oomph that, like, Priscilla, Guinevere, Fire Keeper. You know, she doesn't have that same kind of popularity, you know, Solaire, Smough. You know,
It is true.
So I'm thinking A tier. I think considering the sound effects, the design, the unnecessary, like, and the cutscene is what puts her above Guinevere. Straight up, that there is a zoom in. She's one of the only ones. Really look at is porn effects on this list. No, porn effects isn't. Those are not humanoid feet. She's got weird crow feet. You know, I think, you know what, chat? I think between the footwork and you sing them so much, I think Friede will be our first S tier.
Yes! Yes!
I think we're gonna go with that. Alright.
Finally, some recognition.
Alright, now with that, we're gonna go back to an obscure one. We're actually gonna go with my personal favorite. If I had to pick a waifu in Souls, we'd be going with this one. It's Man-Eater Mildred. That's right. Now, before we actually get into rating good, dear, sweet Mildred, I would like to show all of you a little something I found when I was doing research for this. I found a very, very good post from many years ago. Alright, so we're gonna put Mildred right here. Alright, hold on. So Mildred is like, if it, like, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, if I wasn't to, like, remove the whole...
Fucking wet man. Some shit.
Alright, so let's look through here. Beat Reek of the Swamp. Alright, I had to, like... My chat doesn't want to load. I think YouTube's trying to shut me down. Alright, so we got Friede, now we have Mildred. Now Mildred has a couple of things going for her. She has the obscurity factor right here, even though there's some really good hentai of her. She has the, like, we talk about there being like an outlying aspect, like, you know, Guinevere's got the big woman aspect. so is Priscilla, the painted toes, you know, like, there are other things like being a furry, there's other things that can come in, like Quilana with the dirty feet, and Mildred, without a doubt, has the nastiest feet on this list, and that's something people like, so she's gonna get bumped up another one for that.
She's a naked woman running around in the swamp. Her feet are fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm. She is absolutely down and dirty with it, so she's got the dirty feet aspect, and she's technically, she falls into another one. She is a, what we'd like to call here a BBW. She is a chunky lady. That's like it's bumped up again.
Big woman, but in a different way.
Yeah, she's just like not like big, like 20 feet tall. She's just big. She's built like a brick shit house, as my dad would say. And so she gets right there. The only thing about Mildred though is she doesn't have incredibly high attention to detail. On like, there's not a different res. It's just the player model. It's just an invader. There's no cutscene. There's no special focus. And I actually might believe that Miyazaki didn't mean. Like, I don't know if he had a hand in this. I think they might have just been putting a crazy person in the swamp. Yeah, she thick. Hollow Notes wrote a song about man-eater Mildred.
Actually.
Yeah, man-eater. Oh, here she comes, you know.
Oh.
She's a man-eater. But you know what, just because I'm gonna indulge myself a little bit here, like on the objective list, I think she deserves another bump up for obscurity. I can't help it. I can't leave. That's the only bias you'll see is Mildred. Just because I've been running around saying she's the top waifu for so many years. Alright, now we're gonna go back to a popular one now that we've had one of the obscure. And this is the most recent edition. As a matter of fact, this is, well, this picture anyway, this version. The Maiden in Black from, the Demon Souls remake. The Demon Souls remake, particularly because they added a lot of detail. So, here we go.
You get cut scenes, you get the dirt, the fucking popularity.
Alright, so, yes, like he said, we have a lot to uncover here. For one thing, she was a forerunner. She was the first barefooted hub woman. Getting the bump up. She has the nastiness aspect with the barefeetedness. She gets a bump up. She gets a lot of cutscenes with herself in it and her barefootedness. That gets a bump up. She is popular, so she's getting not so much as Guinevere or like Priscilla where they get two, but just one. She gets one bump up here. I really can't think of anything to detract from it because they're high. Oh yeah, they're high res. That's another one. They're the most high res feet in the series to date so far.
4K feet?
That's right, 4K. So she's definitely A tier. Now we just have to decide if there's anything to like detract or add to it, because I'm thinking the photo mode that they added to the game. I don't know. That might be just for that. That's how that picture was taken.
That is true. That is very true.
Let's see the bird.
So,
Filthy feet covered in soot. S tier. They are dirty. They're burnt and dirty. S. Points for goth GF. Her feet also give you strength. Alright. You know what? I'm convinced. I'm thinking Maiden in Black. S tier. All day. She benefits a lot from kind of coming out with the remake, and we'll see what Elden Ring brings in terms of 4K feet material, but
oh god.
Just imagine the new feet, the foot technology.
Now, with the co-creator on this one, I think it's gonna be out of this fucking world. Yeah,
with George, I like Feet Martin in there, oh yeah. They just need to add like Quentin Tarantino into the mix for some of the filming, and they would have the holy trinity. Maybe the guy that directed iCarly way back when, Dan Schneider.
That dude likes children.
Dan, if she's a fighter, hold her tighter, Schneider. Yeah. Rank. We're gonna go with Alsana from Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
The
fucking queen of the
ice.
no place.
Now she is gonna get a bump up for obscurity because she's from Dark Souls 2 to begin with. That's a rough life for it. That's a rough start for any Dark Souls in PC. Even the best ones like Lucatiel and Binhart aren't as well known as some of the ones from 1 and 3. or even Bloodborne. So we're gonna take, first I'm gonna fix the crop because I'm stupid. We're gonna take her and we're gonna bump her up for obscurity. Now next thing up, I'm gonna mention, she has incredibly high detailed feet compared to the rest of her model. Her legs and her stomach are really like almost PS2 looking, but then you get down to the feet and it matches like the head in terms of details, so that's there. It's incredibly unnecessary that she is there, because she shouldn't be wearing any of this. She is in an ice frozen landscape. She should be wearing like Uggs, you know?
But she's wearing the fucking tattered dress.
Yep, she's wearing a tattered dress. And I can't really think of anything to detract because you do see them. It does take a little while, but you do see them. They're on display, they're there. They're not obscured, they're not low poly. I think Miyazaki probably specifically, like, they say that he supervised that game, so he probably came in, he's like, you guys, not got a whole lot of barefoot women in this one, do you? And they're like, yeah, well, no, like, there's like one or two, yeah, they're like barbarian. Let's, alright, listen to me. This is my creative vision, and I will not have you ruining it. Rosaria. Now, Rosaria is pretty popular.
Well, yeah, she's pretty popular. If we look at that little slug thing, I mean, she's probably got fucking like nasty ass slime on her feet too. So, you know, that might add something.
I don't like how you're thinking, but I agree with it.
I mean, I'm trying to get into the mind
of Miyazaki. I'm thinking
it's a dangerous place. I'm scared.
Alright, so we're talking, we're gonna bump it up here because of the popularity, we're gonna go here because of the potential for like foot slime or whatever. But she really doesn't, oh, and they're high poly, they're very high res.
True.
They spent a lot of time specifically on her feet. But I will say what, I'm gonna knock her back down to D tier, because there's only one of them. The other one's under her or under the slug or something, you only see one foot.
That's gonna take away.
Rosaria has mommy vibes. Yeah, but we're talking about the feet specifically. So to me, like, she's good, but she doesn't have any cutscenes. There's no like zoom in, and it makes sense for once in the game's history that we've been talking about. It makes sense. She's in bed. She would have bare feet. It makes sense. So I can't bump it up for that. There's no zoom ins, no cutscenes. As a matter of fact, when you go to like bow to her for the covenant thing, you look away from them. Unlike Yorshka, where you looked straight down at them, they're not painted. So yeah, I think Rosaria's gonna go right here in D tier with the Fire Keeper.
You started a riot. Expect a pipe bomb in your mailbox tomorrow.
Use a pale tongue on her feet. She doesn't mold you with her feet. Does she just like reach your hand out? I don't know.
She doesn't even do that. You just reach your hand out and the little puff of smoke comes out.
I think she just looks at you. She's like, oh yeah, whatever.
It's like, hey, you're an ugly bastard. Let me just look at you.
You factor the lack of interactive attention. D seems reasonable. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, there's no, like, she doesn't reach out and kick you for trying to fight. Like, if you had went up to punch her and she got angry, like kicked you across the room or something, yeah, instant like 2 tiers up. But nope, none of that. So I think D tier. I think D tier is very reasonable.
That's probably perfect.
All right, now we're gonna get another not really unpopular, but kind of obscure. We're gonna go with Rosabeth. It's the best picture that we can get. I apologize. Not to say she doesn't look just stunning in the turtle gear, but does have a bit of an androgynous quality to it. Alright.
Don't be scared, that is a woman.
Yeah. It's a very small picture of her, but yeah. Does the Emerald Herald have bare feet? No, she has shoes. She would be on here, probably like around here somewhere. Now, Rosabeth is going to get 1 up for obscurity and then 1 up for being interactive, because it's entirely player choice and you can make her wear anything with bare feet. So She gets that for being the only one you actually have an impact on. Miyazaki let you choose this time. He put it in the hands of the players, which is a dangerous thing.
I mean, customizable feat. I mean,
That's like I said, tier up. So, obscurity, customizable. Let's see.
Dirty factor going for it either.
No, she doesn't have the dirty factor. They're not high res. They're just NPC. They make sense actually because she's been like stripped of everything, so it makes perfect sense. It's not unnecessary. Plus, the player chooses. And she doesn't really do anything. Like, she just stands there. It's not like, you know, Yosefka whose feet fly out, the Friede who walks into the camera, Maiden Black who twists him back and forth. I mean, you know, she doesn't really do anything, so there's really not much, like, I can't really help her out anymore here. I think she's above Vileblood Queen because of the customizable aspect, but I think she is definitely D tier.
Yeah. I feel like personally she should get another tier up because of the customization, but that could only help her so much.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's either C or D. Like, for her, she's mid tier. I'm gonna leave her right here at D, because that's what I feel like. Because I don't think she quite has, but like Yorshka and these other ones do. But her uniqueness did give her a bit of an edge up over the Vileblood Queen. And certainly gave her one over the Priestess. Alright, now we've got that, we're gonna swing around to something a little bit more popular, I think. And that could only mean one thing.
Yes.
Nah, I was just debating, I'm not actually gonna do that. I must save the best for last. What do you think is more popular, the Fool's or the Painter? Probably the Painter. I think fewer people know about Fool's Idol than the Painter. I could be wrong.
The DS3 Painter?
Yeah, the fucking one up in the top of the church.
I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking it's Fool's Idol.
Think Fool's Idol.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll go with Fool's. Alright, let's, they did a good... I've never seen the original design of Fool's Idol, so they did a good job with that. Making that into what she turned into in, the remake. Did a good job. I died to the Fool's Idol my first time fighting her. That was bad.
She's like the easiest boss in the game.
She's one of the easiest, yeah. It's essentially like dying to Pinwheel. But like, I was getting messed up by the mechanics. And I think the chat told me something to get me killed.
You know what? It happens to everybody.
What about Carla? Carla's got witch's boots. She doesn't have bare feet. What about female accordance to the old king? Is that Cuculus?
Yeah, Cuculus.
I might call him Cuculus. The great swamp cuck. I thought that was a guy.
No, that's a chick.
No.
Well, I'll see if she's got bare feet though.
Check it out. Fool's Idol dangers her feet to try and distract you. She gets points for using that. She knows what she's got. She knows who she's fighting. Dark Souls fans. Gets a bump up for that. I think she gets a bump up for being one of the forerunners, just like
There's feet.
just like the Maiden in Black. Their doobie feet.
That's porn.
Fool's Idol literally has people worshipping her. So she gets a point up for trying to distract the player with her feet. She gets one up for obscurity.
They're not dirty, so the dirty factor doesn't apply.
She doesn't have any like really weird factors applying to her. It's just her. I don't really think they're unnecessary because like as she floats, she doesn't really need shoes.
There's Cuculus. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm thinking she might be a D tier.
It's either D or C. I thought about bumping up one more just because she is a forerunner. Like she's got the obscurity, she's got
Yeah,
the.
I mean,
She's actually got people.
You did the same thing for Maiden in Black.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna bump her up to C tier. Right there. She duplicates though some more feet. That's true. There's a greater number of feet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's your bonus points though.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, it is technically, like, there is that weird, it is a weird factor. Like, it's there. But I just don't know if she's on the same tier as Mildred and Guinevere. I think she's pretty at home right here with Quilana, Yorshka, and Alsana. Whatever that chick's name is. I get that right? Yeah, Alsana. An entire congregation of footsteps. She does have that, yeah. Calculus has a skirt? Nah, see, it would be down here then. It being so obscure, it'd be down here. One of these, maybe this at the very best, but I'm thinking right here, because you only summoned her that one time.
Sorry, that's a little fucking connection issue.
Alright, we decide, I think C tier. I think that's what we're gonna stick with. We're gonna stick with our guns. Alright. Yep. Next up, we're gonna go from the very first to one of the very last. We're gonna go with the Painter's Feet from DS3. Look how detailed that is. You guys on chat can see that, I think, even with the 720p. Now, that's...
Jesus.
Yeah, there is an insane amount of detail.
That's... Goddamn.
Yeah, it's like, why? Alright, so, first thing up is she gets points for being kind of obscure. There's the detail in the feet. There's the unnecessariness because she's in the cold. There's the weirdness factor of her being a furry. So that goes all the way up. So that goes up to B. However, comma, she looks like a little kid, which drops her immediately 3 ranks all the way down to below D tier.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think she should be F tier just for that alone.
I just don't know if I want to put her in the same place as the like the priestess from the shrine, just because they're so detailed and weird. Because at least the priestess doesn't have that. Hers are just kind of there, they exist. This has a disturbing amount of detail on them. Scales on those. That's what I'm thinking, like, if she wasn't like a little, didn't look like a child, we're not doing the whole, well, she's actually a 1,000-year-old vampire. We're not doing that. That's a kid.
We're not going to jail tonight.
No, it looks like a kid. Like, if it wasn't for that, there would be all these factors. It would at least be B tier, maybe A tier, probably B. It would be somewhere right here, but just because Miyazaki made it look like a kid, all the way down. This should be about the feet nowadays, but the thing is that the feet, it's... the intention behind them is strange to me. Like, I'm trying to get inside Miyazaki's mind, and now I'm getting scared because of this.
I think we're learning something about Miyazaki today, boys.
He is like Tokyo drifting his way across weirdness. Is the lost cinder barefoot and female? Yes, but I don't have a picture. I could not find one.
I can go in game and get one.
Let's try and Google it, see if you can get more lucky than me. So, Painter, all the way down here. The only reason they're above this is just to draw attention to how detailed they are. They should not be. It's a statement that nothing else matters but the feet. That's true. I don't have the heart to put myself, like, to put those up here. I can't do it. I don't have the...
You had trouble with this. I found the first picture I found.
Alright, well, I'm sending them. We've got fools, we've done these two. Alright, next up will be the one that was a bit of a surprise entry to the list, the Looking Glass Knight. Now, I don't know who this artist is that drew this that you guys are going to see on screen. There is a ton of porn in this style of the Looking Glass Knight, and that is why they're on here, because they are barefooted. I don't really know if they're meant to be female, but just because of the, what this person has done with their artwork, I can't crop it to include them, but...
It scares me.
Yeah. There we go. Alright, so Looking Glass Knight's gonna get a bit of a special ranking just because they are here through the sheer force of will of the artist that made all this porn. That's gonna get a rank up. It's big character. It's a rank up here. Has a kick attack, so it's interactive. It puts its feet on the player. C tier.
What about the weird factor? Or does the porn count as the weird factor?
I don't... There is the weird factor of it being like a suit of armor, but I don't know if that's enough to bump it up.
There's feet.
I feel like the Looking Glass Knight also has that obscurity aspect from DS2.
Yeah, just because it's a DS2 boss.
So I think from everything we've considered B tier, I can't really detract anything from it. It's really high res because it's a DS2 boss, so they didn't mess around with that on the armors. The armored bosses in DS2, they did not play around with that.
They wanted them to be taken seriously.
Bare feet on a rainy day. We're keeping beast feet off the list. Yes. Did you send something of the Lost Dinner? Next up is the Lost Dinner, because it's technically a female. And there is the dinner.
Now, right off the gate, we can see dirty feet.
Alright, just to get a couple of the easy things out of the way. Obscurity gets a bump up. Eats right, really dirty, nasty, gets bumped up to D tier. However, something I would like to note is that they're fairly low res, especially for Dark Souls 2. There was not special attention put in on this by Miyazaki. I think he didn't have a hand in this, so I don't know if they're bad enough to give them a low rating, but it's certainly not going to help them. And two, it's in the dark when you fight the dinner. Even if you like light the torches, it's still dark in that room. You can't really appreciate them. There's no barefooted slapping when they jump around. It's as if they're wearing boots. And
There's no interaction with the player.
There's no interaction. I don't think there's any kick mechanics. She is in the cutscene, but the feet aren't featured. I think it keeps like waist up the whole time. And I want to put him down here with the Vileblood level, but I don't think I will.
No, I do think the rendering should knock it down a tier.
I think
it's pretty bad, even for Dark Souls 2 standards.
Yeah, I think, like, I want to be more forgiving because it's a Dark Souls 2 boss and I pity them. But I think this is below D tier. I think the dinner is going to rank down there. Alvina feet, isn't that the cat? But next up is the top #1 result of any tier list in Dark Souls when it's related to anything of beauty or design. Yeah, that's the feat of Smough. Smough the Executioner. Like it needs
painfully wrecked every time I see it. God.
Yeah, right.
My pants have flown off.
my pants have exploded. Yeah, Smough automatically gets S tier because he's the perfect specimen, the sexual icon of Dark Souls through sheer force of popularity, pornography, and just objective design. Smough gets up there. He transcends gender, so even if I were to try and say I could include males, Smough gets up there.
He's got the titties for it to be a woman, so I mean...
He actually probably has some of the biggest titties in any of the game series. So... there you go. I mean, it had to be that way. Smough 100% makes top S tier. So, starting from the bottom, we have the lowest tiers being the Shrine Priestesses from DS2. Next tier up, we have the Vileblood Queen Anais, the Painter from DS3, and the Lost Sinner. D tier, we have Milf Nido from the Shrine of Your Mama. Then we have the Fire Keeper from DS3, Rosaria, and Rosabeth. C tier, we have Quilana, Yorshka, Alsana, and the Fool's Idol from Demon Souls. B tier, we have Guinevere, the Illusion of Guinevere, Maneater Mildred, the Looking Glass Knight. A tier, we have Priscilla and Yosefka. And S tier, the top feat of Dark Souls, objectively ranked here in front of a crowd of 30 people. Sister Friede, the Maiden in Black, and Smough the Executioner. Easy.
These are this tier list is not opinion based. This is completely factual information.
This
No
is
disputes.
you could take a screen. I'll move the mouse right now. If anyone ever asked, you can take a picture of this. This is the objective Dark Souls foot tier list in terms of humanoid female feet that Miyazaki likes. This is it. This is it. Alright, so
Those are not feet.
we're gonna rearrange this. This is gonna be based off of all the points we talked about. S tier is pretty easy. A tier is also pretty easy. I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. I think B tier is good. C tier, I don't know. I have a hard time with it. See, this is where it starts getting more difficult, because Quilana does have the fact she's completely covered head to toe in the dirtiness aspect, but then Yorshka has the furry aspect. And they all three have, like, they all four, except for the... I think Fool's Idol is gonna stay over here, because these three, I think... I think they're too evenly matched. Like, maybe I'd move Alsana ahead of Yorshka.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think she should be ahead just because you have to work to see them.
Yeah. So I will put Alsana ahead of Yorshka. But Fool's Idol is staying right there. We get down to D tier, I'm gonna have to do some rearranging because I definitely think the Fire Keeper gets that from the popularity contest. Rosaria gets that because of the high poly count and everything. And then these two, I'm really not sure. I think Rosabeth gets it because of the customizable aspect. And then the Siren Milf Nido gets right there. This bottom tier here, I think we'll move the painters up because of the textures. I'm gonna keep this right here just because the Lost Sinner barely escaped the bottom tier. There you go. Objectively ranked. There we go. I'm gonna take a screenshot myself so I can make a thumbnail with this. But there you go. The objectively ranked female feet of DS.